So like entrepreneurship is funda taking risks and like really taking risks sometimes blindly. Many entrepreneurs might say, oh, yes, calculated risk, you need to study market. Yes, you do that. But if we studied market, you would not be in Dubai.
Hi, I'm Ahmet Çınar. Today is the second episode of Backstories of an Entrepreneur. Today I have Ahmet Çınar, who's my brother. I'm really happy to have him because we love giving hard time to each other. So I'm going to give him some hard time. He doesn't know what I'm going to
Yeah,
ask.
she didn't show me the questions.
So hi, Ahmet.
Hi, Funda.
You know a lot that if you exaggerate in any story, that I would call it, and I would stop you.
No, without exaggeration, there is no good story, sorry.
So I'll keep stopping you then.
No, you cannot stop me in the middle of the story. They can stop me afterwards
Okay, I'll
to
wait.
correct the facts.
Agreed. I'll wait and
Yes,
stop you
agreed.
and give the real facts of that story that
Can
I know of.
Yes, can I change my host, please? Is there a way, like...
So okay. So first of all, I wanted to ask: Do you really see yourself as an entrepreneur?
It will be very hard. Yes, I do see myself as entrepreneur. You're gonna make fun of me, but yes, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you as an entrepreneur too. I'm getting emotional right now. I'm kidding. But I do feel that you have the spirit of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You do have that, and I didn't have that spirit for sure. You kind of blow that spirit into me because you couldn't do it alone. Also, you needed me, kind of. So you turned me into an entrepreneur, unwillingly.
It started as a emotional abuse, meaning I abused emotionally. I
True.
said, I need you emotionally.
Yeah.
Stand by my side.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I convinced you to come to
True.
Dubai. And once you came in and started giving you small tasks,
True.
then one day I'm like, I'm going to vacation.
Yeah,
It's all
I know.
yours. And I left.
Thank you for making me sick, by the way.
I know you got Crohn's disease from that.
I got Crohn's disease
True.
thanks to you, but I love you still.
I love you too. So like entrepreneurship is funda taking risks and like really taking risks sometimes blindly. Many entrepreneurs might say, oh, yes, calculated risk, you need to study market. Yes, you do that. But if we studied market, we would not be in Dubai now. Like there was no market for Turkish handmade carpets in Dubai.
By the way, for the audience, Dubai is not made for, like, the audience is not made for silk carpets. So our brand is known with silk carpets. We're at our favorite carpet store today, by the way. So our products is 90% silk, and the people here used to wool carpets, right?
And
that was
Persian
the biggest
carpets.
challenge. Yeah.
Wool, Persian, more affordable, let's say, carpets. And when we introduced an unknown, in this part of the world, unknown Turkish carpets, silk materials also less known here, silk, Turkish, and 3-4 times the price what they are used to, as it is because silk and Turkish. So it was if we made a study, all the odds would be against us. But we survived. We are still in the market, one of the most well-known carpet company now in Dubai. So that's what I'm saying. So entrepreneurship is taking risks and not only calculated risks. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm a very risk-averse person.
Yes.
I think I used to be. Now I'm less.
Yes. True.
From where we started, because I was really, really scared of failing. And
anything new I tried,
yeah.
You were like, no, let's
So
not
I
do
have
this.
to be self-critic about that.
I'm a dreamer more.
I didn't think it would involve that much of failing and that much of disappointment, for sure. So, and I didn't know what I was really admired in you, that I don't admire you very often, but I really admired in you that you would, any failure would go through, the next day you would just start as a new day. And I wouldn't want to leave bed, but you would just, keep going. And I would think, we had a horrible day yesterday.
I remember.
How can he keep going? How can he keeps it on?
You texted me 2 a.m. and we had guests or potential clients, I forgot. And I was playing piano.
Oh, I remember that day.
Giving them a tour of our gallery.
Because you were not feeling, why I texted you was usually you'll be okay, But that day I saw your face that you were not good. And I'm like, I can see that he's not well. How can he do this?
And you texted me, it was so cute. Like I was so tired, but I closed the door of the villa, the clients were leaving. And you just wrote me, wow, how can you do that? I'm so proud of you, something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, but the thing is that carpet per se, as the business, wherever in the world, even in Turkey, is not a well-respected business. So people who watch us today might think that, oh, any business has ups and downs. Yes, but you can have ups and downs. But if you have someone coming and disrespecting what you're doing in words, or saying that, oh, doesn't this carpet is not worth this much? Are you joking? It's just a carpet. This carpet is on the floor anyway. You step on it. So how people demotivate us, right? So that is some kind of other struggle we are having in our business.
A lot of people are asking me, why are you doing this for free? Why are you giving that much to clients or doing so? I always try to explain it's not about know-how, but know who in our case scenario, because such a disrespect that, or like, people screw each other a lot in the carpet sector. So people do sell machine made for the price of handmade. People are getting fooled at thinking what they buy is a handmade product. So that is, people are getting warned usually before they buy a carpet. I warn people, I'm saying, don't buy from me. Just send me a picture of what you're buying, the price you're getting. I'll just say if it is what you think it is. So a lot of things of what we do in Exhausting is trying to show that we are not that, the value, we're trying to explain the value they're getting and trying to teach the people, educate them. This is how it looks like when it's handmade. This is how it looks when it's high quality. This is how it looks when it's bad quality. You buy it or not, just be educated. So we've been trying to do that kind of educational session with people. Whether you buy it or not, just have a tour. We'll show you around. Come get to know us. It's not about carpets. We're always here. You can trust us. You know, that's a way of also showing it. When people come to our music nights, this is kind of an also entrepreneurial project that you have.
Against.
Which I was against, yes.
And a few weeks ago, you were saying, is it going to end for summer? Is not going to continue? Because this is something, I started not for business at all. Like,
what is it exactly, if you can explain everyone?
With my Turkish friend Ömer, we were just grooving together, jamming together. And I said one day to him, can I host in our house?
You're jamming music at home.
Jam music at home. I'm a pianist. He is a clarinet player. He's playing many instruments. But I said, let's do it one day in my house, villa. Because he was always in his house. And he said, you know what? I will be more than happy because we can fit in here and you have a larger entrance. So at the entrance of your house, we can do it. I said, really? You don't mind? He said, yes. Let's do in your place. 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. It started in that year, maximum 10 to 12 people. We were saying we were a lot of musicians, at 10, 12 musicians together making music. And then it was during COVID, and they wanted to invite their families, friends. During COVID, it was not allowed. It was, of course, a bit post-COVID, not exactly, not when the lockdown was, but still restrictions were there. You could not meet more than 20 people, 30 people. So then it became a tradition of every Tuesday. In year 2020, it started June and end of June, I think. This year, it was the 4th year finished. It was the 4th year this year, actually. And
but how it is now and it was how it was back then is very different. So in the beginning, we had only Turkish community, and it was more like rehearsing between each other, just enjoying
actually, the people were attending our rehearsals. We were rehearsing, people were attending our rehearsals.
Yes. Now, everybody is performing. Sometimes
like
me, but mostly you.
Full concert. It's a full concert. We do 2 to 3 hours international/Turkish music, because Turkish band plays international music as well. Anything you give them. But then comes the other bands. We have one band coming. So
we are having right now maybe minimum 70 people per event.
Per event, and musicians are minimum 15 to 20 musicians minimum.
Everyone can understand why I don't want 100 people a week every once a week in my house.
Worst night when we say there is no musicians is 2-3 bands playing live.
Why you are doing or we are doing this for free?
Okay, first of all,
honest answer.
If you really charge people, you're gonna lose the soul of it, because then you need to also pay the musicians. You need to pay the musicians. One musician plays only one song, the other musician plays 1 hour. One is a singer performing 3 hours of singing. The other one is just playing for one song clarinet or saxophone. So you need to be just. In such an environment, you cannot. First of all, if you pay the musicians, you're going to lose the soul of the night, because they are playing things that they're not daring to play on the stage. Mm-hmm. So we are giving them.
They're experimenting also.
They're experimenting, and some of the musicians play their second or third instrument as their first instrument on that night, because a guy who plays as drums for his what do you call it, hobby, that musician plays drums that night. So we make them experiment other instruments that they have been playing, but they weren't daring to play on the stage. Number two, because no one is paid, no one feels like they need, because paid musicians in a paid event, they look at their watch. Oh, time is up. I need to go. I have to start at 9. I have to finish at 10 because it's per hour. They know that what time it starts, what time it finishes. In our music night, sometimes it finishes 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, but it's just free flow and musicians play with each other and there is no concern of money. So if you charge people, you're gonna lose it because the musicians will expect money as well, and it's gonna lose the entire soul of the night. And people who pay and come to those music nights, they will demand. They will say, "What time is music starting? I came here this time. I want to listen to more music." They will demand things from you.
And you need me on board to kick people out when it passes 2 a.m.
Yes, you do.
I'm the bad police.
You didn't come to 2 Tuesday nights, and we finished at 1 a.m. And we realized you're the reason.
No, that's such a. I
Ask,
received texts from people that it wasn't as fun because I wasn't there, first of all.
but it finished at 1.
So people didn't have fun, you're saying.
We keep long, and then you claim that you kick people out while you make them stay first. So you enjoy it. You make people stay, and then you kick them out. Whereas without you, it finishes at the time.
That's such a fake story. Fake news.
You can ask.
Fake news. I just really, I think it was coincidence that 2 nights in a row finished at 1 a.m.
Cool.
And you know, by the way, you exaggerate everything, as we all know. So probably your 1 a.m. was 3 a.m.
Could be.
So it ended at a normal time. Anyways, so I don't want to talk more about Çınar and us, but I wanted you to talk about Ahmet Çınar as an entrepreneur. So I want to go back to your US times that you lived there. So you invested in a few projects. There were very interesting projects that you became part as an entrepreneur. So can you talk a bit about that?
My first entrepreneurship in the US was opening the Çınar New York store, and then investing into a movie streaming company. It's called Cinex, and it was very interesting because it's a small device that detects how many people are in the room, and it charges per person, per view tickets. Like when you used to go to hotel rooms and buy latest movies that were available. I'm talking about before Netflix. It was called pay-per-view. Pay-per-view was the name. Then it got into pay-per-view on.
I never heard about it, by the way.
Pay-per-view.
Okay.
Pay-per-view is when you were a kid, I think. You would go into a hotel room and you would buy the latest movies that came out of movie theaters. Some people were going and staying in hotel rooms because it was only available in hotel rooms first. And then it will be available in DVD or cassettes.
So was this kind of the inspiration of the device?
So the name was the inspiration because we call it pay-per-viewer. You pay per, not pay-per-view, you pay per viewer. So as let's say you have 10 people in the room, you buy 10 tickets for that movie. So what you're doing right now with standard streaming services, paid per view, I'm not talking about Netflix model, I'm talking about Apple model, where you buy a movie that just came out of movie theaters, $20, $10 a movie, kind of a premium video on demand, we call it now. The new name is premium video on demand or video on demand. Video on demand means what you want to watch when you want to watch. It can be paid or not paid subscription model. So I'm talking about the one that's premium, which is like Apple. So a movie just came out of the movie theaters. For 3 to 6 months, it will not be on streaming platforms, but it will be on premium video on demand where you buy $20 per view. But if you're alone, you're not going to buy $20 per view. You're going to wait until your friends come, 4 or 5 people. You gather up, you buy your popcorns and you buy the $20 movie and you watch it. But alone, you will not watch that. So I'm losing all the single customers, alone clients that are living alone. That's a lost case. Or other abuse is that you throw a big party of 20 people, 30 people, 15 people, 10 people. $20 movie you buy, but you watch exactly $2 or $1 per person. So there you are losing. Also,
so that's the problem you're solving.
They're losing money from a client not buying or clients who buy who watch 20 people or 10 people. So that's why per person ticketing enables you, like in a movie theater, to make a box office for the home streaming. So now we have a box office. You used to have box office only in the movie theaters. That way we can watch the movie at the same time that's in the movie theaters in your home. We've sold until now 10,000 devices in Saudi Arabia. We launched in Saudi Arabia as they want their privacy and they don't want to always go to movie theaters with their families. In Saudi Arabia, it was a great market opportunity for us to start with. So you can watch the movie that's in the movie theater same time in your home. That's the idea. because now you can pay per person.
And the reason that it took that long for it to be successful in Saudi and all, because US was a harder market for that kind of
US
person. Middle
such
East
a hard
was
market for anything, but for this it was very hard because movie business
there are a
started
lot
in
of
the US.
obstacles that they wouldn't allow you
Yes,
to go
it's such
through.
an old culture of movies, meaning Hollywood is the benchmark for movies. So the culture is so rigid, it's so hard to change. So imagine it's such a movie theater culture, movie culture there. Movie theaters are closing all over in the world, also in the US closing down, but they wanted to hold on to the traditional movie theaters. And movie theater owners lobbied against us. And some studios were afraid to launch on our platform because movie theaters would boycott their movies. And in the US, if your movies are being boycotted in the movie theaters, you go bankrupt. Like as a studio, you cannot launch the movie. Whereas this part of the world, people watch it more on streaming than actually going to the movie theater.
True, that's very true. I also wanted to talk about one of the things that I'm horrible at and you're good at is languages. So I think that also has something in common with you being an entrepreneur. You love to learn new things. You love to jump into new things without having any idea of it. So I barely learned English. I'm still not that good at it, but
No, come on.
I'm
You're
okay.
better
But
than me
still,
now.
with like the time and effort I put in, I should have been better. But how do you speak
Should-
6 languages? That's traumatizing as a
You should
sister.
have speak Shakespearean.
Yeah.
With time and effort you put it into English, you're right. But it's not about the English actually or any other language. If you remember or not, I don't know. But I was at the age of 12 or 13. My parents were called to school before I started Austrian college. I was in the Istanbul Lisesi, the boys' school of Istanbul. And that school was German, as you remember. And one day they called our parents to school and saying that I cannot learn German and I have no talent for languages. Then I was taking private lessons for German. And it took me 11 years to learn German, if you remember.
Yeah.
But once I learned German,
Like, I'm going to screw all you
I'm
guys.
like, once I learned German, it's one of the top 5 hardest spoken languages. Maybe there's some language in Africa of a tribe, it's harder than German, I don't know. But it's considered as the top 5 most spoken language in the hardest, most spoken language in the world is German. It's in top 5. It could be harder than Chinese, by the way. So once I learned, I realized it wasn't that I didn't have a talent for language, or maybe it wasn't that you didn't have talent for language. Maybe English wasn't fitting you.
I think it's an easy language. Let's not have excuses of me not being talented in it. It's okay. I'm okay with
German,
not being talented in language.
But I was saying that German is not a phonetic, very melodical
Yeah,
language. So I realized any language that has melody,
Mm-hmm.
I can learn. It's like a song to me. So I immediately, when I was learning, went to Austria, I already, by the time I knew German and English and some French. So I was learning within 6 weeks Spanish. Within 2 months, I started speaking Italian. And I went to France. I remembered all the French I learned at school.
I think it's really hard to not confuse them, making it a soup of all of it, you know?
I'm still confusing them.
Yeah.
But I realized melodical languages I'm learning because I don't have talent for languages actually. I have talent for music, playing piano. So I have a good ear. So I realized it's all about the melodies of the languages. So if a language has melody, I learn it easy. If language has no melodical structure, like German, I don't learn it easy. If you remember, you asked my parents, in 14 days I started speaking Chinese when we were in China. Because Chinese all melody.
I was so annoyed.
Ups and downs of all letters in melody, you know?
I'm about to close the show because we passed 20 minutes more than that. But since we're on air, I just wanted to thank you. Everything you did to me as a brother. And you've been amazing. I know I make fun of you a lot, but
Yes.
we've been living together, working together, and it's been really fun. Everything I do with you can be
Same here.
anything, but it's for sure fun.
Actually, like we can disclose it here sometimes. Like we have the hardest day, but one client comes. It's a hard client. Doesn't matter sales happen or didn't happen, but for us to just laugh at our moments during that.
No, we're
sales
laughing
pitch-
failures a lot. We're laughing when we fail a lot.
But horrible.
Yeah.
Let's say we have a horrible meeting.
I swear.
Horrible meeting. But after the meeting, we sit down and we try to highlight our moments to each other. Do you
Yeah.
remember what you did
Like
in that
when
second?
you were struggling there and like thinking it's not gonna go through, the move you did.
The move you did in that
Yeah.
second, how you yelled at the guy in the middle of the meeting, and then you make fun of me
Because
how
I do
yelled.
horrible jokes when I'm stressed. So if the thing
Yes.
is not gonna go through,
There's no-
and if I try to look sympathetic and I do a horrible joke, and you look at me like, and I hear myself.
You're like, the sale didn't go through. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's them,
Thank you for coming.